Yamaha twin controls, obviously port, starboard, electric up and down, choke, keys going at the bottom, rain marine, depth and log, Maxwell remote control for the anchor winch, up and down, up is up, down is down. There we go. Hours there, 158 on both engines, you can't see them. Obviously stainless steering wheel, standard contest steering, compass, looking for the and apart from that, we normally stand up, and from the steering station we have good views of both bows, and obviously good views of both stones. At the moment the dinghy is on the aft trampoline, all covered up, engine's on it as well. We have used that fender just to make sure as we're sailing along it doesn't scratch the paintwork. There's the Yamaha 50 engine in the up position. At the front we have the primer, the hand pump to push the petrol through when we start it. Filter just below. We have hot water tank, engine battery, hydraulic steering. Could do with a clean, mind you. And we have the whale aft shower step. The winches are all Antal except I have one replacement. Harken, I think. This is the main sheet winch, this is the Traveller winch. So the Traveller runs along the aft. There's the Harken winch, brand new, and the original Antal winches. This is the Genoa winch, which also doubles as the spinnaker or the Code Zero. We take the Code Zero back to here and the spinnakers back to there, either inside, no, they're always outside from this position. The up and down for the dagger boards. Oh, it's not out because it causes sun damage, but that's the horseshoe, goes in the frame there. At the back we have the solar panels, 3. Even with the dirt, these have been holding the fridge and the freezer and all the power for the boat for the past week, even though it could do with a bit of a dusting off of the residual dirt. Oh, and of course on the other side of that you can see the big tall SSB aerial. These ropes hanging down is what we pull the dinghy up with when it's got the engine on. When it doesn't have the engine on, we can pull it up by hand. I will just go to the other engine compartment. Pretty much the same. The fuel filter down below and the hand pump just above, and obviously they go up and down electronically, so well protected out of the weather. They do have a locking ability, but we never lock them. I never lock them. Obviously we have these lockers. These are all wet lockers with drain holes underneath. I keep all the dive gear in that one. And these two we just keep ropes and fishing gear. This is full of tarpaulin. So from the steering station, which is here, the GPS is immediately in front of you, and it's on a rotation that can face inwards if it's in rough weather and you're wanting to read it from the inside. So all your hands, everything's close at hand. Obviously depth and speed. This has also got depth and speed on it. Up the engine controls, steering wheel, and view at the front. So now we've just put the cushions out for the cockpit, and actually one of the things that's specific about this boat that I changed from the original design was I didn't like all the square corners. So you'll see on the boat there's a lot of rounded curves which make it much more comfortable for sitting at. A lot harder to paint and fair, but we've got nice thick firm cushions for the cockpit. Okay, so obviously these are all Perspex doors, Perspex sliding windows to come in, stainless locks. We have a saloon. With seats. Station with nice little curved wooden doors open into the hydraulic steering in the middle. This is the hydraulic drive for the steering, fire extinguisher, and this is the course master auto helm. These are the connections in case you want to use the petrol out of the tanks for the outboards if there's some issue with the petrol tanks. Under here we just have hi-fi system and stuff. So moving down into the galley, we have a big work surface on the outer edge with 3 sets of drawers. The usual oven and grill, gas, yeah, quite new. And on this side we have a 3-burner gas hob. My wife says quite new. And this is obviously a sink, hot and cold water. Storage behind, storage up top, drawers, glasses. Oops, wasn't looking. So glasses and cups there. We keep plates and plates at the moment. Obviously 240 volt electricity throughout the boat. So the other thing here is that obviously this is the other daggerboard case with a water tank behind. Again, all the way from this point down to the floor. Again, airtight voids underneath all the floors. This little section is just 2 inches deep for carrying the pipes, and it's completely dry because we don't have any leaks. And this is the fridge. It's pretty good size. And that's the galley. Now I suppose the other good thing about the galley is it's not cut off from the living area. The person here can both see, this is the sort of chest height, or can see the people and talk to the people in the galley as they're cooking, and also we tend to hand food up and down directly over the top of here, so it's actually a very communal space, so it's lovely. All open air to the communal area. Very good ventilation too, so there you have it. So walking through from the kitchen or galley into the master bedroom, the ensuite facing us. So here we have the main cabin. It's got good headroom, certainly quite spacious for the head. You can kneel and sit up. Obviously we have under bed hatches, that's actually the underwing. So we have quite a few hatches, and the storage goes all the way back. And again, I'm not sure if you can see into the depths, but this goes a long way. Lots of storage there if you want to use it. Obviously bedside storage here too. 2 LEDs, 1 240. On this side we have clothes drawers, and down at the bottom we have a shoe drawer. Now the thing about this is it just rotates, and the weight of the things inside keeps it closed. We have a vanity with a mirror that is cracked, and we have a hanging wardrobe full length for the ladies. The other thing to mention is this is all void space, as in that, and again, as you can see, the flooring is all completely covered or sealed, so underneath the floor it's all void air spaces. So going into the ensuite head, we have a sink and whale taps on the left again, brand new toilet, big open space, dead spaces behind, holding tank under. There is a holding tank in there, I've never used it. I don't like it. This is the nose cone of the bridge deck, and you can see the semicircular shape. Apart from this space here, which is about a foot or maybe just over a foot, the rest of those spaces are all airtight voids again for flotation. And here we have the holding tank about this section, and in front of that, that's all dead space voids, and in the forepeak there, in front of that vertical wall is all foam. So you have a compression bow, and then several dead spaces with voids to maintain flotation even if the bow is completely ripped off. So this is the communal head at the rear of the port hull. So this is electric toilet, controls are there. We have a sink, obviously a whale tap, and this comes up to sit up there if you want it as a shower. And down here is the sump. That is the switch for the shower sump. And down here, it's like a mess. We have the drain, we have the depth and the log, and the second one for the GPS. Here we have the chart table, SSB radio, VHF radio, LED lights, charts, stored under in 2 separate drawers. And papers, spare rope. The 40-watt battery charger, switch for the power, two 40-volt switches, 12-volt switches, all very nicely organized, numbered. Another little desk, little drawer. I should mention we have a DC meter. It also measures amps in and out. It needs to be zeroed. Voltage. So this is reading 12.7 volts. It's now night. We've had the fridge and freezer running without any power. We've actually unplugged the 40-watt battery charger for the last week and been on board all week with the fridge and the freezer running continuously, and it's never fallen below 12.5 volts. Never quite sure why it is, but this voltmeter always measures 0.4 of a volt higher than that one. So this is reading 13, it's only 0.3 at the moment. That's 12.7, this is measuring 13. We're actually using 10 amps at the moment. So that's obviously the fridge and the freezer are both on, plus quite a few lights. So, lots of space. So this is the freezer, the condenser is underneath, and this is about a year old. The freezer. It's really, really big. Both ends. This is the daggerboard case. Behind there, but underneath here is the water tanks. So you can see the daggerboards on the Pescott's kind of angle inwards. As you can see, it's kind of angling in at 20 degrees probably, 10 degrees, 15 degrees. And that's all water tank from this point here down to that point there. So that is around 200 litres. So moving through from the chart table through to the other cabin. Obviously 4-peak is roughly empty. But here is the other cabin, queen size bed, very good headroom, way above sitting head height and kneeling head height. Again, void, dead space, trapped air, storage underneath this bunk, just like on in the main cabin. And we have hanging, full-length hanging locker here. Shelving for clothes, linen, whatever you like. Shoes at the bottom. And a vanity. Little bedside table. And going through to the 4-peak. Again, not a lot in here apart from storage. This would be long enough to have another bunk if people wanted to. You'd need to just have a little extension here, and you could get a 6-foot person to sleep in there. That's obviously the 6-man Zodiac life raft. That is out used, thankfully. 3 years out of date, would need to be serviced if you were serious about needing to use it in the future. Obviously, fan. There's a fan in the main cabin. So this is the cabin of the starboard hull, and it's a double. Head on the left, feet on the right, because there's a low section there, shelf to the right, and lots of storage space under here, mainly got tools and things like that. 4 lockers, which are really quite deep. There's also another couple of lockers there, but behind that there's also another dead space. And as you can see on the floor, we have these floors are all completely sealed